Hey, good evening. This is Nicolina Nix, and you're listening to another show with another cast with Women, Wit, and Wine. Tonight I'm here with Mary Bird.
Hello.
And her amazing friend, Nettie.
Hello.
I'm going to Miss DeBerry.
Yes.
It's very funny because I have another friend called Nettie, and her name is, or her last name is Dairy Berry, something like that.
Oh,
so when I see her last name, I always think associated with that. Tonight we're drinking a Merlot.
Delicious.
It's a Quail Oak. It was something simple. I was looking for something a little bit kind of closer to reference to the show, but I didn't really have much luck in finding something. Tonight's show is definitely about it's reasons why your breakup may not be a failure. And I say that in terms of when people go through a breakup, I think that a lot of us associate that something is wrong with your relationship, and sometimes it's just not a bad thing. Maybe you just weren't meant to be together. I know that you were married for a long time, Mary, and although you had a long-term marriage,
an unparalleled growth pattern.
Absolutely. So eventually,
yeah.
You have to be able to say, okay, it's time. It doesn't mean that what we had at one time was not a success.
It's just not succeeding right now.
It's just not succeeding anymore.
Exactly.
So,
no hope.
And me, it's kind of funny because my longest relationship was 10 years. I've been married and divorced 3 times. It's kind of we kind of laugh at that.
You're not afraid to love.
I just tell people 3 strikes, I'm out. It's like a baseball game. Either 3 strikes, I'm out, or on the 4th one, I'm going to get to walk.
Well, yes. I'm not giving anybody a third pitch.
No.
I've been with all marriage. I've been married twice.
I've been married twice.
My second marriage was 20 years, so we were married 18, together 20, so yeah, we were together a long time. And like I said, you just tend to grow apart. So I don't really consider it a failure. The marriage was not a failure necessarily. I had a beautiful 21-year-old daughter that I wouldn't give up for the world, so I don't consider it a failure.
So I think failure is probably the wrong word. And maybe when I say maybe the reason that your relationship ended was not a bad thing. Because for some people, I think I think in a way society teaches us, especially for my generation, that generation, that we're supposed to kind of stick it out and make it work. It doesn't mean that
From a family of long unhappy marriages.
Right, from a family
a tradition of sticking it out.
I remember my mother when she married for the second time, that she married for the reasons of taking care of her children. It's not the right reason,
Right.
But if you're conditioned to think that that's the right reason, it's not hard to let yourself fall into something that you're not necessarily happy with.
Right.
So the question is what is a good reason why you shouldn't be in a relationship with this person? For you, when your marriage ended, what was the reason for you to feel that it was time?
It was done.
So?
And I was done.
You were done.
Exactly.
But what were
that
your...
really is what it is I was done.
How long do you feel like you tried before you decided you were done?
8 years.
8 years is a long time.
It is. And you try that long because the first 10 to 12 were amazing.
Yeah.
And you keep thinking, you can get back. You can get back, and you realize neither one of us are those people. That it wasn't all terrible.
So
it was hard. Those last several years were very, very hard.
Well, if you think about it, it's the key. It's like if you're not growing if you're not growing in a relationship, you're not growing. I mean, there's two ways a relationship can grow. You can either grow together or you can grow apart. And so I think that is a lot of times that we grow apart. And we don't figure out how to come back. I mean, if you think about the roots of a tree does this.
They do come back and forth.
True.
If they're sturdy.
Right. If a sturdy tree, the roots will separate, come back, separate, come back. Good hard tree. Pretty sure the trees outside my house are like that.
I hope so.
So, so when you think about it, you think about what is, sometimes a breakup is the best thing. Does it make you a better person? Sometimes it makes you a better person.
I think it made me a better person just because I was unhappy. So if you're unhappy, people around you are going to feel that, and everybody's going to feel unhappy. So once I reached that point, that's when I was like, okay, well, it's time. So, and I tried for about 5 years to get my points across, and there was no music then. So I said, okay, it's time then. And, I don't think it was a failure because it gave my daughter the opportunity to have the relationship she wanted with her father. And she has grown and blossomed from that. So I think it was actually for the best for all of us in the long run.
So do you think you have a better relationship with your daughter now, or that you're not in that relationship?
Not necessarily better.
Maybe just different.
But, yeah, different for sure. Possibly much more understanding in the relationship. Much more mature type relationship. So, not better, not worse. Just
I think getting
changed.
out of a relationship for me was definitely something that it made my relationship a little bit stronger, because I think that my last long-term relationship was I thought I was doing it for the right reasons. I thought I was doing it to be a good parent. I thought I was doing it to provide for myself, and those aren't the right reasons. And again, it's a little bit of the generational conditioning that I came from. You can't exist without a partner, a man.
Or a partner, period.
You're not complete without a man in your life. And
well, media is still giving us all those.
I think so too. I think
as well.
I think media
Princess
does.
Books.
Yes.
I think media absolutely does.
I want a partner.
Exactly.
It's your appearance. I will take you, but we have to be partners.
Well, you have to be. I mean, I want to say to be equal. I mean, however, I don't really necessarily think that we're always equal in relationships. I think that there's never a 50-50 balance.
Why?
Because sometimes you're going to put out 70, and sometimes they're only going to put out 30.
Well, I mean,
but I think you can be equal in respect. I mean, I think if you're not getting that respect from your partner, it's definitely something that you don't want to remain in.
I think the problem would come if you were always the one giving 70% and they were always the one giving 30, or vice versa, is when discord probably...
When the teeter-totter's not working, no one's having fun.
Exactly.
I know, after a while it starts bumping you in the butt.
To go up and down.
Just like, I cook dinner, you do the dishes, or I clean the house, you do the yard, that kind of thing. Or we do everything together as a team. We both clean the house and we both go clean the yard. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it just depends on what your dynamics are. But I think there is a lot to be said about one partner giving in more than the other.
I think we do give in as partners, not necessarily in a bad way. I think that you have to pick your battles. It's like with your children. You have to pick the battle. What is my battle worth today?
But see, that's
Your
the
hair will grow.
problem.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the color it is.
Right, you know?
Yeah, but the problem is, if you feel like, you have to pick your battles, and that's, in my opinion, would be a part of a relationship problem for me. I don't want to have to worry about picking a battle. I want to be able to say, hey, this bothers me. And I want somebody to respect that enough to say, oh, I will make my greatest attempt not to do that anymore. And when they can't do that, that to me is not thinking about, And
Well, I think
but it just becomes a huge thing after a while. You do that.
I think, I think definitely that communication is an important role in any type of relationship. But I mean, when I say picking your battle, it's just kind of like, is this worth causing strife in my relationship? Because, I don't really like NASCAR. But I know he loves it. You pick a battle. You compromise. It's a compromise. So when you say you pick your battle, I can either dig my feet in and say, I don't want to do this. Or I can say, I know you really love this, and I'm willing to go every once in a while with you.
And every once in a while, I want you to go do something that you absolutely hate that I love.
Exactly. And that's true.
Exactly. I mean, because you're going to have differences. I mean, everybody's going to have differences.
Thank God.
But the thing is,
Right.
I guess maybe it's just the wording you're using, but I wouldn't consider that a battle. I would say, look, I really don't like NASCAR, but hey, you want to watch NASCAR? I'll sit here and do something else. I'll read my book, girl.
I'll go to brunch with my
friends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And let you have the house to yourself.
Right.
Exactly. Totally.
Well, and maybe picking your battles is the wrong word. And I guess I think in terms of that, in terms of parenthood, it's the picking the battle of
Well, because you don't have any. You have fewer choices in how you responsibly react to your child.
Exactly. But is it really worth taking
No,
going and hiding
911 now.
their hot iron, or because you're trying to make a point, or is it just easier just to shut the hot iron off?
I guess that's where in all relationships, to me, that's the mutual respect part.
Mm-hmm.
If Mary tells me, look, I really don't like this to happen, or I don't like things left plugged in, so if you plug something in, please unplug it. That kind of thing. I mean, to me, that's a mutual respect thing. And in my relationships, I expected to be the same. I was brutally honest, and that's, if they didn't like it, well, they didn't have to like it. But I respected them, and they should respect me in the same way. So I think that's part of just being balanced in a relationship. But that's my opinion. But I was raised in the generation where, you had to be married and you had to stay married forever.
I think we all were.
But I didn't agree with that. So,
I think we all were. I mean, I know that my mother's response to me after my second marriage was failing was, "Are you trying to keep up with your father?" My father, who had been married 8 times. But,
It could be in the genes.
It could be in the genes, which is, kind of what I told her. I said, does that mean I should not tell you that I'm a member of the Jean-Jacques Gabor and Elizabeth Taylor fan club? Number 9. So, it's been a long time since I've been married. My last marriage was 1995. So, it's not like I'm gunning to get married. I'm not gunning to be in that type of
I
relationship.
can't even get a date, so marriage is not a question.
I can. I just go by a calendar.
No.
365. Woohoo! And if I'm lucky, it's a leap year.
I'm working on it. It's not that hard. So honestly, it's not even on the horizon. If that happened, I would be surprised, and I don't think many people who know me would be surprised.
Yeah.
It's not out of the question, but it's not
It's not out of the question. I mean, I think about in terms of the last relationship that I had that was very hard for me is some of the things is why it was not such a bad thing is now I look back and this was a person who doesn't know how to communicate their emotions. It's probably the best thing for me because eventually I would have been banging my head against the wall.
Thinking that it's you and it's not.
And thinking that it was me. And for a long time, I thought,
Right.
I did. I blamed myself for the demise of this relationship. And, not too long ago, I said, you know what? I really guess I think I should thank you. For what? I said, for not sticking it out.
I've been tortured all this time.
I should thank you because you are such a miserable person. I talked to him a couple of days ago, and it was just kind of like, well, how are you? I said, you don't sound too great. I'm not.
Oh.
You haven't been too great since I've been talking to you in the year and a half, so what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about what are you going to change about your life to make yourself happier? Where are you going to find your peace? And that's really it. It's about finding your peace. And now I kind of think about it, it's like, oh my God, I should be grateful that I was saved from all of this. I was saved from the years of unhappiness and,
Eat or not on steroids.
Right. Right. Because it would have been me doing all the work. It would have been me doing all the compromising. And I think about that now, and I think that maybe it wasn't such a bad thing. And
the universe loves
the
you.
universe loves me.
I believe the universe loves me.
I do.
Be happy.
And I believe that, and I am a firm believer in that sometimes the universe is telling you something, and if you're spending a year and a half unhappy, dude, it's time to wake up,
Do you talk to your ex?
Occasionally, but not really.
No, you sometimes talk to. I don't talk to mine.
Well, I don't talk to Amber's father.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Occasionally we have a child together, so occasionally we have to exchange texts, but no.
Yeah, for the most part, that's what I do.
I would probably admit for me it was a little bit of a, I heard some, I got the, you were good for me, you were good to me. It was a little bit of a, oh, you're an idiot kind of thing. And
you go, no, yes, I was.
I was. Sucks to be you. Karma's a bitch, and so is your wife.
I was. Past tense. I've moved on.
So,
feeling better.
Yeah, and it's and I do. I think about this. I think about all the stuff I don't have to deal with on that daily basis in a relationship, even with Terry. It's that same thing. I think about this sometimes because we're still friends. We still hang out,
Nice.
and I still care about him. But it's not. It's not that care anymore. I mean, so when do you decide to not do that? I mean, I just don't. I mean, we hang out, we watch some TV on Sunday, and I come home.
That's a good friend to have.
Yeah.
You can be
Just a good
friends
friend to
forever.
have.
I mean, that you don't necessarily have to end the friendship unless he thinks it's more than that.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Then
For
ask
him.
Stay
Well,
strong.
no, I know. Here's the thing. The opportunity with having that friendship is he had the opportunity to tell me how he really feels. And
Well, that's his. But what I'm saying is, if you are concerned that there is going to be some hurt feelings because he might think that there's more to this friendship than you think there is, then it's not about him. It's about you feeling better about hanging out with him.
Yeah,
But you're not leading him on.
Oh, I do, and I
so-
don't, and I really, and to be honest with you, I really don't. I mean, he'll make a comment, every once in a while. I mean, his birthday was last month, and I stayed over, and the comment was, well, you didn't snuggle me, and it was like, well, we're not there anymore.
We're not a couple anymore.
We're not there anymore. We haven't been there for over a year and a half.
Right. So, like I said, if it's a concern of yours and would make you feel better, then you clarify it with him, and then you'll feel better. Life goes on.
Yeah, I've kind of clarified it, but he has to hear what he needs to hear. I think that is something that he has to come to terms with. I can't help him come to terms with it if I've already said it. I've had somebody was talking about that they just broke up with their girlfriend after a year and a half, and that kind of that's hard. You've invested a year and a half in that relationship, but you have to ask yourself
Always
is
learning something about yourself
again,
relationship, friendship, employment, romantic. Hopefully, you're learning something.
What's the pro and the con of the end of your relationship? The pro is that you could be ridding yourself of some negativity in your life.
Who's toxic?
Toxic. My daughter talks about her current relationship and says certain things, and I'm like, that's a toxic. It's a toxic relationship. If he doesn't want you to have other friends, it's toxic.
Right.
If he's mad at you because you're hanging out with your friends, it's toxic.
Mad at you because you went to go see your mom. That's time to go.
That was kind of how it was yesterday. We went to a movie yesterday. We went and saw the movie Get Out.
I heard it was great.
It was actually it's actually pretty. It was a pretty interesting twist on a movie kind of thing. I liked it. I liked it. In some places it was a little slow, but I kept waiting for something really exciting to happen. It was a little slow, but it worked up to what it was supposed to lead to, and it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. And we went to lunch yesterday. And he's a little bit mad. Well, it must be nice. And it was just like, I don't hardly ever hang out with my mom, and it's just like, and I think that's you can't have that. You can't be in a relationship with somebody that wants to tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. You have to have this separate identity in a relationship, because if you don't,
it's not a relationship.
It's not a relationship. I mean, I can say that when
the only time I want somebody to say, "Hey, you can't," is you can't drive. You've had too much. I'm going to call you a cab.
Right.
Yes.
Don't tell me anything else.
Other than that, you're not allowed to tell me no.
I can't do.
You can't do this because
it's illegal to have vigilante violence.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
You can tell me that, but you can't stop me.
Right. You can tell me, but you can't stop me. So, and I think that's a big thing for us, is we tend to fall into, I think some people tend to fall into toxic relationships. And it's easy to fall into that because we don't want to be alone.
Recognize it also.
Yes, you have to recognize it.
That's really kind of funny too, because I don't mind being alone. And sometimes, when even when I'm dating somebody, and you're like, God, I really don't want to go out Friday, but you kind of feel obligated because, they got concert tickets or whatever, but you're like, I really just want to spend the weekend at my house doing nothing. So I don't mind being alone. So, but there is that huge, huge fear, I guess. And a lot of that goes right back to what we're programmed to see on TV and everything else. And, it just kind of perpetuates that whole cycle.
I'm watching Grey's Anatomy right now with my daughter.
Oh.
And we're on this episode of a couple getting married, and I'm like, and it's all the right things, saying the right words and the right things, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, and I'm sitting there, and the cynic in me goes, yeah, if only that was real.
But it's real.
They're often it's real. People who are very happily married in their third decade of happy marriage.
And I remember
the key is No children.
No children. that could be true.
I swear to God, they're very happy they have no children.
Yeah, realistically, if I think about this, and if I think about if I could go back and not had children, then yes, my life would be so much different. I didn't want children. I don't regret my children. But I also know
one of your 5th grade. I'm going to grow up and be a mom.
It wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. It wasn't. So the fact that my children have survived and still like me, I think that's a success.
I was going to be a stripper when I was in 5th grade, so children were not in my picture at all.
Hey, I wanted to be a Playboy centerfold. Come on.
Yeah. I'm sure there's many people that are very thankful that I did not go to that.
I got a pole right there. Need to borrow it?
She does have a pole. Well, that's another episode.
It's not mine.
Sure.
Oh, no, it was.
Stripper pole.
Yeah.
It's not hers.
Yeah, no.
Are listeners buying that? I think.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. Are you buying that? Are you buying that I never wanted to be a stripper? I don't know. My cousins might tell you differently because
pole,
I think...
By the way, that will have visual helps.
I have this cousin that said when I was young, I think I was 7 or 8, and I was doing like a little dance on the bed in the dark. I don't know. Maybe I wanted to be a stripper. Let's be honest.
Maybe you were just joyfully dancing.
I probably was joyfully dancing.
Because you
didn't think about
early that you were supposed to dance like nobody's watching.
Absolutely, and I still do.
Write emails like they could be read in court one day.
Absolutely. I do those too. Unfortunately, my dancing is more like Elaine off of Seinfeld.
My emails are good. My texts are probably inadmissible, I'm hoping.
I tell people all the time, you've probably seen me naked, you just don't know it yet. I'm sure somewhere out there on the internet is a picture of me. You just don't know it's me.
Right? The Venus de Milo. No,
yeah.
No.
I had a friend who...
There's always the metadata.
When his friend... I had a friend, when you called him, your picture was your chest.
Oh, nice.
So your boobs would show up on his phone. So yeah, hey, some people, all you gotta do is ask.
And throw you beads.
Yeah, throw me beads.
See the collection.
It's very funny because I totally told that because we have these cameras at work now, and
what have they caught you doing?
Nothing. They haven't caught me doing anything. But I did tell my employee. I said, this is looking up at that, looking down here. It's almost like sexual harassment. Because I can just walk up here and go, so how you doing today, Karina?
Watching this. It's a live.
Because you're right there and you're looking right down my shirt.
Cleavage.com.
That's right.
The cleavage cam.
The cleavage cam. Right? I mean, think about that.
These desks.
So, but, when you come down to the whole relationship thing.
You just made something up.
Cleavage cam. Good new website. Moneymaker.
I'm registering now. Register that one right now.
That's right. So,
It's taken.
Are you sure? So, but but come to think of it, it's like sometimes we save ourselves from a bad relationship.
Sometimes our angels save.
That's true.
I've had friends where I had a friend once, and when he talked about having a relationship with me, and I'm like, well, you could never have a relationship. And he's like, well, why not? I said, because you're too submissive for me.
I know. They don't get that.
I recognize the fact that of who you are, and I might be a jerk sometimes, so you'll never win, and I need somebody who's going to kind of stand up to me. So
I'm too late.
GoPro cleavage cam.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Hate to rain on your parade. There's not going
to as a moneymaker, but you
as a moneymaker
for fun.
We call it the boobage cam. There you go, boobage cam. Boobage. Booby traps. Hey. Right?
Booby traps.
So, I mean, but think about it. Tell me why you're better off not being married in a relationship.
I'm happy. He's happy. My daughter's happy. Everybody's happy. So that's the best way to be. And
it is.
Why.
It is. It is.
And that is absolutely it. I'm happy. I mean, I haven't had the best couple of years, and I still am very happy. So, yeah, that's it.
Happiness is sometimes it's an inside job.
Always.
It's always an inside job. You know, because if you're looking for a relationship to make you happy, then
what I meant by that is
then you're in a wrong thing.
That's not what I meant. But I mean, there were happy moments in my relationship. I mean, I'm saying it was a horrible relationship. I was happy then too until I realized that was over. And by that, I just meant that, you know, when neither one of you are happy and everybody's just kind of frowning and miserable all the time, that's not healthy.
I think a lot of people become content.
Complacent
is the word.
We just are groomed to, it's like, well, there'll be ups and downs. And we just don't recognize that this is a slow spiral down. It's not going to come back up.
Right.
So
right.
We give it a lot of chances. We give it a lot of time thinking, well, this downward, the up's going to be up.
It's going to be amazing.
It doesn't come. It just doesn't come.
Oh, yeah.
But yours was almost 8 years of down.
Basically, yeah. When my dad died, he was changed.
Yeah.
My dad was 5'6", but I know in my heart he would have fucking broken him in half.
Yeah.
Because I was daddy's girl. And he did. He got meaner and meaner.
Was he angry with you because you were grieving, you think?
I didn't. Who knows?
I mean,
honestly, I don't care.
You know, I mean, but...
I just don't. What era were you meant for? The future.
Yeah.
So it's I have a great kid. I have some self-respect. And it's I can't paddle my own canoe. Sometimes I'm on the side of the bank. Okay? But sometimes I'm on a sandbar. But that's my canoe, and I will paddle it. And I am happy to. And if I got a 2-person canoe and we're both paddling, that would be awesome. But I'm happy in my single paddle canoe.
Well, that's always a good thing. That's a good thing.
It's good to be happy. It's good to be happy in your loves. It's good to be happy in your work. But you also have to be happy by yourself. To say, I just can't, I have to have a boyfriend or I have to have this. It's no, I have to have a really good book and a jacuzzi tub. Get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to. It's for me to be happy. It's no, I am really awesome company.
I think a lot of people think that status quo of, you're nothing without, if you're not in a relationship.
I think until somebody loves you, well, you have to love yourself.
I think we've shifted so far. You know what? There's white in the fridge. There's white in the fridge. There really is. Okay. It's got a zombie finger in it, but it's on the door. I think that a lot of us, we've steered away from that, especially from the generation that we've come from. we have steered away from that. We're okay being independent and not having to feel like we're stuck in something we don't need to be in anymore. And I think that that's an amazing thing, that if we can get there, if a lot of women can get there, I mean, because even our youth of today still kind of sees that as you're nothing if you don't have a boyfriend.
I know.
And
it's kind of sad that we still haven't.
But we're slowly progressing.
Girls on football teams and other sports, and, it's like, okay, we're closing the gap, but it's still, the status quo is, oh, go to college and get your MRS. Instead of, oh, go to college, and then you can get your master's.
Right.
And then you can really work on it, and then you can get your PhD and do this and this and this. And women still are say, oh, go to college and meet your husband.
Right. And, I know that with my girls, both of my daughters,
like,
what I've always told them was
something if you wanted to get a master's, or are you like barely going to get out of college and you don't want it? And it's important to know.
Right.
It's also important, hey, you don't have to go to college. You can start your own business.
Right, absolutely. I tell my daughter, I said, what I want you to do
being married is not a business.
is I want you to figure
if
out.
you treat it like that, you will work.
Absolutely.
And you've got to love the person.
I want her to figure out how to have a career, take care of herself, and then if she chooses to be in a relationship with somebody and she chooses not to work anymore, to be a stay-at-home mom, it now becomes a choice. It now becomes a choice. And that's something I definitely try to instill in my children. Was you don't need to be in a relationship. Do something for yourself first. Take care of you first. Know that you have a home, you have a car, you have a career, and then if you meet the person that's the love of your life and you want to stay home,
not date.
It's now a choice.
Right. It's like, don't ever make the other person your priority. You have to make you your priority.
Absolutely. That's definitely
always.
That's definitely what I kind of hope for in my, and what I teach my children. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily. It's not.
I don't want to be number one, because if you're putting someone else before yourself, you are not going to have the strength to carry me when I need you.
That's a good point.
I have to be in the top 3. I have to be in the top 3 or 4. Yourself, if you have kids, I would totally expect and respect that your kids would sometimes come before me. But if I'm not in the top 4, I'm not interested.
Right. If I'm not at least number 2 or 3.
Me, then my job, then my sister, then my kid, then some of my friends, then, you're just the wife.
That's a problem.
That was a problem. Past tense. I gotta be in the top 3, 4.
Right.
I really do.
Right.
Yes.
Priorities need to be, I want somebody.
Because I would put them there.
Who,
I make them a priority. I'm not a slacker when it comes to.
Well, when we say that, it's kind of like
extra effort.
We have to treat people how we ourselves want to be treated.
Exactly.
So if you don't make yourself a priority, then definitely you're not going to find somebody that makes you a priority, because you've not made yourself this priority. So I think that a lot of us don't really see that. I think a lot of us lose ourselves in relationships. We get a boyfriend, we get a girlfriend, we get dumb. We get love dumb, stupid, kind of thing.
Love is a wonderful thing.
Well, okay, infatuated is really probably more the word, because it wears off.
Infatuation has its place in romance.
Doesn't it?
It does.
You have to
Totally
imagine
has its place.
It does, as long as you still are number one in yourself, for yourself. It has its place, but I think so many people tend to infatuate themselves because they think that makes
them graduating college, and you drop out and you move across the country because you can finish college anytime. and you move someplace and you realize, oh my God, instead of like $800, it's $8,000 for me to finish school here. It's like, oh, you live and learn.
We do.
For sure. You live and learn.
We live and learn. I mean, I think I put my life on hold for a long time, partially because I was a parent. I was a single parent.
What it is we just had different lives going on.
Yeah.
Life didn't get put on hold. It just had a different focus.
That's true.
And priority.
I can see that.
You still did some of the things that you absolutely loved. You just didn't get a chance to do as much.
Yeah.
I still did comedy, but I did it twice a month, if I was lucky, instead of, 4 times a week.
Right. Well,
so, you had to make different priorities.
You have to make a priority for your dream. You do. So, I mean, and when we're in relationships, and sometimes I think that when we lose sight of that because we make that person our priority, we make that person our life. I think that, I don't know, when you first get into a relationship, we get into that infatuation stage, and nothing is outside of that.
There's the melding of lives. As things go on both sides when you're trying to meld your life together.
It's been a long time since I've melded my life.
That's true.
I mean, I'm okay. I talk about a lot of relationship stuff, but it's not. I just think that I'll find something and I'll find an article that's interesting that says, oh, okay, hey, this would be something good to talk about. Let's talk about this. I've been there at one time or another. I've been there where I've invested myself wholly in a relationship and not necessarily taking care of myself.
Then you feel depleted.
I did. I think I spent that 10 years depleted because I was doing and it was
you vampire.
And it was just not me. And that's, it's very funny because I talk about, that it's that psychic vampire. It's the psychic vampire. It's the people that come in that their lives are so miserable and
they aren't even aware they're doing it.
They're not aware that they're doing it, but
most of them aren't.
They've become so resentful and they're unhappy and they have to figure out how to find their happiness again. So they go and they sit next to you because you're a really happy, upbeat person and you make them feel good. But when you leave there, they've taken your energy.
You're exhausted.
And you're exhausted because you become emotionally exhausted because that friendship or that relationship becomes much more work than is worth your effort, and that you're thinking, well, maybe I should go hide. Maybe I should avoid that person. Oh, do I want to answer my phone today? So I think that happens to us a lot in relationships. I mean, I was in the perpetual relationship with Eeyore. Absolutely. Oh,
Because you're an empathetic and compassionate person, and people are like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Wah.
I think I'm less.
I am compassionate too, but you can only whine for 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Per week.
Let's do a timer. Here's your timer. Here's your 2 minutes.
I think your eyes start to glaze over about 30 seconds in. I do. At least mine do. I had a friend just like that who thought we were in a relationship because I was letting them come over. So totally understand that whole drainage thing because I would be like, they cry. Nobody loves me. Okay, we can go over. I'm just having a salad, but I'll share it with you. So yeah, but totally draining, because that's everything. It's just
terrible.
And then
the black cloud.
It seemed like the the more you tried to help them, the more they needed. And yeah, it was just awful. So yes, I try to keep those people at bay.
So did you cut it off? Did you?
Oh yeah, I continued to try to be friends because the entire time, every time he would say, "Oh, this is my girlfriend," I'm like, "I'm not your girlfriend. We have never been in a relationship, and we are not in a relationship." And I would say it in front of the person that he would say that to.
Mm-hmm.
I made it very, very clear on very many occasions. So it was not like I felt any. I felt a little bit sorry for him because he doesn't have anybody else to talk to. But I figured, he will find somebody else to be miserable at.
But
and he did.
If you think about it,
will always find somebody to.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he doesn't have people to talk to because
exactly.
Somebody once described me as I'm like I'm so intense that almost like the sun that I burn people out because I'm such an intense personality, and then people just get tired because I'm so intense. And I was like, it almost hurt my feelings, but then I thought, but you know what? The people that are going to care about me are going to accept me for who I am.
Exactly.
They're going to know that I'm intense sometimes. They're going to know that I'm emotional sometimes, and they're going to know that I just kind of just don't generally give a fuck sometimes. But
they're going to love you anyway.
They're going to love me because that's my friend. They're going to accept me because that's my friend.
Right.
And the people that don't stay there for the long term aren't my friends. They don't need to be my friends.
No.
That's my dogs. He saw some of the shadow in the window. Yeah, it's my dogs. I got 3 dogs. Oh no, I have 1 dog. My daughter has 2.
Yeah,
I got to correct that all the time.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that is true. If we surround ourselves with that.
Yeah, if you surround yourself by negativity,
you just get so miserable.
But negative.
And that's when you're in a not so great relationship and these things are coming in your mind. It's like, it is worse to stay in something that debilitates you.
I kind of felt that way.
It is worse to stay in something that every day you wake up and you can't wait for them to be at work.
Right.
Right.
So that you can be yourself, and you've got to get out.
You don't have to. You don't have to be that person. I can say that. For that time, that 10-year period, it was always this joke of, oh my God, this black cloud just either needs to move on or just strike me dead, because that's kind of how I felt, and it was just one stream of thing and one right after another that it was always this financial dependence on this person, and then it was almost like after I finally left, it was almost like, oh my God, I felt like so financially hostage. Because I always felt like, and even still is, I can still feel, I know that I can still go, hey, blah, 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 I need help. But I don't want to do this anymore. And that's where I'm at in my life. It's like, I don't want to do this. So like when the question is ever if there's a money issue and it's like it's brought up, it's like, no, do I want to borrow money? No, I don't.
So much.
I don't. I want a job that's going to pay me enough money that I can meet my bills.
Right.
Do I want to ask you for any help? No. I want to do this on my own. I don't want to feel like I have to keep coming back. And I will probably say in this last year, I've made such a huge transition and not feeling that I have to do that anymore. I now feel like I'm free of saying, oh, hey, I really need some help here. I would rather I'd rather my electricity get cut off before I go back and go, hey, can you help me?
Right. Exactly.
No, because that's not what I want. I want to know that I can come home and comfortably pay my bills and not have to worry that
Right.
I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. You know?
Even if you have to slice a bean. I have sliced a few
Right.
beans this past few years, but
Right.
I'm danged.
Dude, I'd rather, hey, I got rice. I can cook rice. I know how to cook rice.
Mm-hmm.
It's food in my belly, you know? And I have a job that...
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. You know, I have a job that it pays, you know, they pay for my lunch. I can eat lunch at work.
Yeah.
It's Saturdays and Sundays I got to worry about. No, I'm just kidding. And the dog food looks pretty good today.
Those middle weeks of the month are killers, eh?
You know, I mean, my pay period went from every other week to like the 1st and the 15th, and now I need to know, and now I just need to know it's differently. However, I had a job where my pay period was on the 5th and the 25th, and that was worse.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's 20 days apart.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was like,
Who
This
picked
is-
this?
what the heck is wrong with you people? So, you know, one of the things about my dogs, they're noisy. You know, about this show is that, you know, although I do pick a topic, we don't necessarily have to stay on topic. And I love that about this show.
It's your show.
And I love that about my guests is that they can kind of just go wherever I go and listen to my dogs. Because they're normally not this noisy, but it is getting to be summertime and dogs walk by. Yeah. So,
They'll just be protected, that's all. Doing their jobs.
they're good dogs. They're good dogs most of the time. But, you know, so you're not dating anybody. You're just happily single. Mary Bird, I know, is happily single.
We get a date now and then.
Yeah? I don't. I'm okay with that.
We're going to look in unconventional places.
I do look in unconventional places, but I think I'm just not. Again, I'm not there. I'm not there for myself. I'm not. I just have so many other
And
things.
take yourself on dates.
I do take myself on dates.
Take yourself on
You know.
dates.
I mean, I'm okay. You know, my dates entail my friends. You know, hanging out with my friends. You know.
That's still a date for you. It's
You know.
like, I want to do this exactly.
Right.
It's like, I want to go see Motown. Who can I get to come at the last minute? Oh, it's my free minute.
That's right. How was it? You said you liked it. It was a good
It
show.
was awesome.
God, it was amazing. Totally amazing.
So I got I am from BJ
Oh, good.
asking me about my mink. Did you get it to me? And I went,
Did I?
no.
give it to you?
I said, are you telling me you don't have it anymore? And
Oh, no, I'll get to it. So,
yeah, I know.
okay, good.
But it was just kind of like, are you telling me you don't have it anymore? You better find it.
And there's-
But it was just kind of like, no.
she wasn't there that night.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Is she wasn't there, and it was just kind of like
Weirdness.
it was like, okay, no problem. You know, you should still bring it to me. You should bring it to me. So, you know, but it was just kind of an odd message saying, hey, so did Mary give me your coat? And I went, no. Are you
Mary never had it.
Mary never had it. Because Mary would have brought it to me.
Certainly would have.
So, you know, but next week, you're having a clothes swap
We've moved it a little bit.
again to the 14th.
It's a friend of ours' birthday, and they're having a comedy show for it.
Oh,
And
fun.
then other things happen. So, swear to Susan, April 4th. It's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. If you've got clothes, you can bring it to
I'm
me.
going through my closet.
See, you wouldn't be ready for Tuesday anyway.
Oh no, I probably would be. You have no idea. I have tons of clothes. I have a ton of clothes.
Go through your summer stuff. That's what we're looking at.
Summer stuff. Do I have summer stuff? I probably have summer stuff. I'm trying to get rid of just a lot of clothes.
Awesome.
Period.
We can't wait.
So April 4th, huh?
April 4th.
And who shows on the 14th?
Holly.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to that.
Club.
I said I was going to that. Duh.
Duh, yeah. So we made it easier on everybody who wanted
Yeah.
to be there.
Yes.
We're happy on her birthday.
Yeah, I did say I was going to that. So that means I'm coming to that.
Don got busy. Then I got busy and was like, oh no.
Yeah.
April 4th, let's just try. Fingers crossed.
Right? You know? So, you got shows coming up?
I am so delighted I get to host Vagrant Variety at the beautiful Oxtock Theater on Thursday, March 23rd.
Maybe they can give you my coat then.
Maybe she can give you the coat. I might wear it on stage with nothing else.
You could.
Never can tell.
It's a silver fox.
Ooh.
So it's a beautiful mink coat. It's a silver fox coat.
Is it a fox or a mink?
It's a mink. So
It's a silver mink.
silver mink. Well, it's I don't know. It's silver fox. So it's a mink.
No, it'd be fox.
I don't know.
It's furry.
I paid a lot of money.
But they died a long, long
They
time
died
ago,
for.
and it'd be wrong not to wear
That's
them
right.
now.
That's right.
That's right.
It would be. It's not like you're like calling up the furriers and like, I want a freshly killed one, please.
Yeah, no, I have
How
a few.
many chinchilla? You need 87 chinchillas.
I got a few.
them now.
I got a few cats when they were.
And they're antique.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? They've been sacrificed and they're beautiful. And
Absolutely.
they should be
Right.
Absolutely. I have quite a few of them actually. So, you know, may not fit me right now, but soon. So, I'm down.
Someday soon.
I'm down. I'm down 20 pounds. So,
Sexy mom.
I'm getting there. So, but thanks for joining me, ladies.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you guys got to come out again. You know.
It's very delightful.
Oh, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You know, hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Hope you enjoyed your birthday.
Mom, if you're listening.
Happy birthday, Mom. Mary's mom.
Birthday, Mom. Mary's mom.
Happy birthdays, Mary's mom,
Birthday.
in the Red Hat Ladies Club.
Yep.
So, but we'll see you next week, guys. This is Nicolina.
Happy
Nick.
St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. Drive safe. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. You might hit a bump, spill your drink. No, just don't drink and drive. You don't want to blow your car for a year, guys. Well, it talks dirty to you. This is Nicolina Nix, and you're listening to Women, Wit, and Wine, and thanks for listening, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.